Sometimes it's hard to see the good in the world around us. But I don't want to live there.
Don't spend a lot of time looking in your mirrors, because you want to be looking forward.
Because otherwise you run into the wall?
Yeah, or the car in front of you.
I believe there are people in this world who are ready to share their stories and skills with those who are ready to listen. I want to meet these people, learn from them, and take what I learned to live better. This is Practical Living. In this week's episode of Practical Living, we meet up with professional race car driver Sam Messerli.
That's funny. All the goods.
Hey man, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, buddy!
What's up?
I'm just gonna get in your car.
Go ahead.
What's up, man? Can I shake your hand?
Of course.
Man?
Good to see
How
you.
are you?
I'm good, you?
Are you okay if I get in a second?
Of course, dude.
Okay.
Go ahead. So one of my favorite pictures of me growing up is I think the picture says I'm about 18 months old. And I am in my dad's race car, standing on a seat with my hands on the wheel, just biggest smile on my face. Racing has always been I shouldn't say always, it was a big part of my childhood. My dad quit racing and started building and helping another guy with his cars. And we weren't allowed to help at that time. Kids weren't allowed in the pits, so they would sneak us in his motorhome, and we would sit in there and watch the races. And about the time I was 14, I faked it so I could get a NASCAR license and start helping out at the track. And 2 years later, my dad got fed up with racing and quit. It was something that I always watched on TV after that, and I always had the desire to do it. But at the same time, all the money that I had went to the family, and whatever I had left went to drugs. So there was no money for racing.
I don't even know if I know.
Good luck, man.
What do you do? Yesterday was leg day. My
Both legs
are...
in, yeah. Yep, pick it up and put it in.
Okay.
And then jump in.
Did you know that this car doesn't have a steering wheel?
I do. It's in there.
Oh, it is.
Yes, it is.
That... Oh, man.
If it was there, you wouldn't get in. Trust me.
Oh, because it's too...
It's way too close.
Has your
And
steering...
right on your legs.
Does your steering wheel ever fall off?
No. So if you get it lined up right there, you push this in,
Okay.
and that locks it. Now pull on the wheel.
Okay.
Like pull it towards you. It ain't going nowhere. You're good
That's
to go.
cool. So,
Can you reach?
yeah, this is your clutch?
Yep.
Do you go all the way to the floor?
You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
You can push it about halfway, and
Oh, really?
it
And it's
engages,
good?
and then you can slam gears.
And brakes?
Brakes.
Gas, just normal?
So gas.
That's...
So it's kind of, the gas pedal's set up a little weird. So it's actually set up to where if the throttle hangs on you, you can reach up with that, and that second lever on this
one?
side, is so you can pull it back with your foot, hopefully.
So you don't have too much gas?
So I've had the throttle hang wide open in a car, and it destroyed it because you just plow into the wall at like 95 miles an hour.
How fast can this guy
And
go?
it hurts. Probably 90, 95 down a straightaway.
Okay.
We turn 19-second laps, which is pretty quick in a 3/8 mile.
It's a 3/8?
Yeah.
So it's not a quarter?
No, it's not a quarter. It's 3/8 of a mile.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then here we are. What's all
So
this?
you got your main power.
Yeah.
This is your ignition switch.
Okay.
That turns it on. This will turn it over. So if you do that, once you get oil pressure up here, you flip that other switch.
This one?
Yep. No. You flip, that switch, and it'll fire up. I was a recluse when I was a kid. My parents divorced when I was about 5. I went to after school program and was more or less molested as a child. I hid it. the first person I ever told was my wife, and it was a couple years ago. And it was something that I fought with for a long time.
I feel like I can't see anything.
Oh, no, you can't. And just wait. Once you're strapped down with everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're looking forward and that's it.
How do you...
Noise.
Okay. Yeah. Noise? That's how you know when to turn?
No, turn, you figure that out.
Oh, okay.
But cars next to you and stuff like that?
What
Yeah.
in the
Noise
world?
and mirrors. You do have two
Oh
mirrors.
my God. This one and this one?
Yeah,
You
that's
can't
all you
see
got.
over there? How?
Don't spend a lot of time looking in your mirrors because you want to be looking forward.
Because otherwise you run into the wall?
Yeah, or the
Oh
car
my
in front of
gosh.
you, or...
Don't you have multiple cars?
This is the only one I have for this division.
Oh, I see.
I have,
Oh, because...
I have these two. They're late models.
Okay, so tell me, what makes a car worthy of a division? Is it how fast it can go? Is it the size
It's
of the
motor
engine?
size, it's weight.
It's weight?
So this weighs 3,400 pounds.
Okay,
These weigh 3,000 pounds.
okay,
And they also have 100 more horsepower.
okay.
So these are
Lighter and faster.
lighter and faster.
Oh my gosh.
And that will light your butt on fire.
Okay.
Like you'll feel it. You can feel it in your seat. Like most race car drivers, you can feel it in your seat when the thing breaks loose. Like your butt feels it first.
Oh my gosh.
And at that point, you either back off or you just
Yeah.
ride it out.
What's NASCAR? How big is that track?
Depends. They race mile and a half mile. They race 2.5 miles
How many
at Daytona.
laps? Okay, and it depends on the race how many laps it is. So what? This Saturday you're racing.
This will be a 25 lap race.
Okay, and how long
These
does that
usually
take?
do 35 laps.
You're saying it's a 19-second lap.
Yep. It doesn't take long.
It doesn't take long.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, because it seems
25
like
laps goes by.
yeah,
But when you're in the car,
yeah.
and if you're
Well,
not
I'm sure
having a
it's
good night,
intense.
25 laps can feel like forever.
Yeah.
You will look up at the scoreboard and be like, how are we seriously only 5 laps into this race?
As you're driving.
As you're driving. I look at the scoreboard all the time going down the backstretch just to
man.
see how many laps are left.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's
okay.
like driving. It's
Okay.
honestly like driving a car. Once
Yeah.
you get used to racing,
Yeah.
it's like a car. When
It's
you
the
get in the
same.
straightaway, you look in your mirror, you look in this mirror,
Yeah.
you look ahead.
Yeah.
And then you go.
All right.
My dad was hardworking. I can never say that my dad wasn't a hard worker and he didn't take care of us, but my dad also drank and was an angry man. Still is. Maybe not as bad, but he was definitely an angry man back in the day. For the longest time, I thought my parents' divorce was obviously my fault. You're a kid. You don't understand what happened. So that adds a little bit to it. And then, you know, being molested by somebody that is in a position of authority over you, it also adds to a lot.
How long have you been racing?
Oh, this is 5 years?
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you'd been doing it longer than that.
No,
Okay.
I wish.
Yeah. And then, what's the ultimate goal other than winning this
Championship.
championship?
So we're leading the points right now in this division.
Right.
We've only had one race.
So is your goal to get in a higher division ever, or do you just like the division you're in?
So that's a higher division. I love those cars.
Yeah.
Like the speed and just the feel is.
Is that the same track, or you have to go somewhere else?
It's the same track.
Okay.
But these cars, you can run into people and it is what it is. I mean, this is a 1984, I think, Buick Regal body.
We're the same age.
So it's
and your car.
steel. It'll take a beating
Yeah.
and keep going. That thing is mostly fiberglass and
So it'll fall apart
if
around
you run into somebody in that thing, they get really mad when you run into
Gotcha.
them. Those guys, it's a much different.
Type of race?
Yeah.
So with this, people are nicking all the
They're
time?
not trying to, but yeah, you do.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure they're
Yeah,
not trying
no,
to? Are you
sometimes
not
you do.
trying to?
Sometimes you do.
Yeah, right.
At about the age of 12, my dad's 40th birthday party, I found a bottle of champagne and some strawberry Welch's pop, started mixing them. I got drunk as a skunk. Nobody seemed to notice because everybody else was. And it also gave me a way to sort of, I guess, suppress whatever feelings I was feeling about what had happened to me as a kid. It was a way for me to block that. You also fall into a crowd of kids who are into drinking. Obviously at 12, it's a little bit harder to do, but you know, there's beer and alcohol in the house, so you can get a hold of that pretty easily. And you fall in with friends that do that, and it becomes more and more. You go from parties where you drink to somebody brings out, you know, weed or marijuana, and you get into that. And then there's lines of cocaine, and you get into that, and everything just becomes a way to suppress feelings and block things out. And the more that you do it, the more you don't have to think about it.
Let's see under this bad boy.
All right.
Show me what we got. Not
Okay.
that I'll know what I'm looking
You're
at.
gonna have to grab that side.
Okay.
Because this is a two-man job.
It's right
so
here?
So you're gonna lift up right here.
Okay.
And you're gonna
to the
lift
whole-
there.
Gotcha.
And you're just gonna go across here.
It's a good thing I work out.
Yeah, it is. Because that's a heavy hood.
Yeah, it is.
We'll pick that hood up and you'll be like, oh man, this is
'Cause it's really
awesome.
light?
It's fiberglass. So this is it's called the crate motor.
Okay.
So you could buy this at any,
Home Depot.
no,
Oh,
Chevrolet dealership for sure.
okay.
But it's a crate, it's a 602 crate motor.
Okay.
So it's a 350 small block. Mm-hmm. They make about
What does that mean? 350.
350 cubic inch motor.
So it's the size.
It's a V8, yeah.
Okay, what's
So most of your 60s, 70s Chevrolets
Okay.
had a 350 small
Okay.
block in it.
Okay, and why? And it's just because of
It's
this.
just a dependable
Is there
motor.
a big block?
Yeah, but we're not allowed to run them.
Because it's more horsepower. or
Just a
something?
lot more horsepower, a
Okay.
lot more money. This is cost effective for this division.
Okay.
So most of the cars that I run against run the same motor, which makes it pretty fair.
Yeah.
As far as you have the same thing.
Right.
When you get to the super late models, which is the highest division they run out there, they have $60,000 in a motor.
Yeah.
But they make 600 horsepower.
Okay. So
And I can't afford $60,000. And then on top of that, you
If you
have
wreck
you
it?
have to build a car around it.
Right.
So you're looking at
yeah.
$80,000 to $100,000 cars out
Yeah.
there.
So how often in between, or what all? There's a lot of stuff you have to do to make
There
sure
is.
that you're not going to die.
There is.
But after a race, are you having to disassemble everything?
No.
Okay.
So after a race, pretty much what we do, we'll go 3 races, we'll change the oil in this and the
Okay.
air filter.
Okay.
Every week before we race, like I'll come Friday night, we race Saturday. Friday night, I'll come down here, I'll put the car on the lift, raise it up, and do a bolt check on every nut and bolt in this car.
Okay.
Other than that,
Just to make sure it's tight and
if
good.
you don't wreck, you don't have to fix anything.
Okay.
It's pretty dependable. Got a job with my dad working construction and fell into the routine of going to work and getting high, and then it became getting high at work, and it became getting high before work, and it became doing anything that I could do to not feel, honestly. I still have big problems with emotions. I don't deal with them well. It has certainly gotten better, but I'm not a guy who does real good with emotion, unfortunately. So.
So do you have to hit brakes every time you hit the corner?
So when you go in the corner, you let off, and then you hit the brake, and I usually hit the brake twice, and it'll set the car up for the corner, and then you can give it some power.
To get around
It's
the corner?
iffy on how much you can give power at which point and how much, and then
Yeah.
there's an art form to doing it. I don't care what anybody says. Driving a race car is not as easy as people
Well, I don't think that
say.
I never would think it. I think going at speed and knowing that there's a wall,
There's a wall.
kind of terrifies me
But
a little
also
bit.
add 24 other cars.
Right, and that is
And
also
they're all,
terrifying.
guess what? They all have the same idea you do.
Yeah, I
Get
want
to the front.
Yeah, I want to win.
Exactly. A lot of people don't understand that an addict, nobody hates an addict more than themselves. You know what you're doing. You know the pain that you're causing as far as your family. But it's something that you can't really stop doing. It's, you get into a rut. Like I said, you don't want to feel, you don't want to remember, so you use. But using just leads to usually more depression and more self-hate, and you use more.
Got nothing left to do.
And your dad is like your crew.
My
right?
dad
Because
is my crew.
With only 25, you don't have like a pit crew because you don't ever have to pit. Well, you said, I think you told me, like, unless you blow a tire or something.
So
but
there-
at that point, if you blow a tire, it's over, right?
No.
No,
if
you
I
can-
blow a tire, three
how-
years ago, I
yeah.
blew a tire on the first lap. They threw a caution. I came in, changed the tire.
Gotcha.
I went back out on the track as the field was going by to take the green flag. I started dead last at that point. I ended up winning that race.
Okay. So you're not out for sure.
You're not out.
So you just
It
keep going.
Depends on what you got.
Who would change your tire? Your dad?
So my dad, my wife is on my pit crew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My kids, if I can drag them out to the track, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
almost impossible anymore because
Sure.
they're 20
Getting
and
older.
18.
Yeah.
So I can tell you for the longest time that my kids didn't respect me because of what I was doing. It affects your kids and your family in a lot of ways. Just immediate family. My aunt and uncle I used to be really close with, and they got to the point where they didn't want to see me anymore. My kids obviously have nowhere to go. They're sort of stuck with you. But man, it hurts. Alex, my son, came home one day and told my wife that he honestly felt like she should leave me, that I was not a great person and I was not good for her or for them. So she should honestly leave. That hurts me to this day, but it's also one of the driving factors that made me get clean was I didn't want to do this to my kids anymore. Obviously, addicts, you have to do it for yourself, but there also has to be a drive to not do it for your family.
So then you're always number 99?
Always.
Okay. And that's just when you enter into racing, do you like to register your number or what is that?
You do.
Okay.
This was my dad's number. That's the
Okay.
number I grew up with. I carried on the legacy.
Yeah.
It meant something to me.
Sure.
So,
What's
and it
Hoo-
meant something to my dad.
What's Hoosier?
So Hoosier is your tires.
Okay.
That's the only.
And
That's the only sticker we run.
Is that a sponsor?
No,
Or
we pay for those tires. They're $600 a set.
you just really like them, so you put the sticker on there?
Well, the friend of my dad's is the guy that sells these Hoosier tires at the
Okay.
track. So
Okay.
other than that, though,
I mean, you have your mom's sticker.
I love my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom backs me up on all this, to
Yeah.
be honest. Stuff happens in a race car in a split second. There's a saying in racing that you're not looking at the car in front of you, you're looking 2 or 3 cars ahead of you. And people wonder about that, but it's actually true. When I'm in a race car, I'm not looking at the car ahead of me. I'm actually looking 2 or 3 cars ahead. And there are times where I know 2 cars are gonna crash that are ahead of me because you can see them bouncing off each other for 2 laps before it happens. You just know, man, these 2 are not gonna make it here pretty soon. And you have to be ready to make a decision of which way you're gonna go. Are you gonna hit the brakes? Is it gonna be better to keep your foot on the gas and try to drive through it? All of this happens so fast, there is no way I could possibly be messed up and do this.
So, and then explain to me, how does the point system work? Because it's a season, right?
Yep.
It's like soccer or where you're earning points.
Right, or football, yeah, or hockey. You
Hockey,
get 2 points
yeah, yeah.
for winning hockey, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. I thought it was 3, but
Yeah,
I'm-
maybe now. I
don't
haven't
know.
watched hockey in
Yeah.
a couple years, but
Sure. Whatever.
So these
Regardless.
work. The winner gets 40 points.
Okay.
Every position down from there loses 2 points. So second gets 38,
Okay.
then 36,
Yeah.
34.
And is it just at the end of the season, whoever has the most points
Whoever
wins?
has the most points.
Yeah.
If you didn't get
So-
DQ'd,
So if you're killer and you're just blowing everyone out of the water you don't even have to race the last race. You're like, I'm done.
There's been some guys that have done that.
I got first place.
It's
I'm out.
hard in this division.
Yeah.
There are some fast cars and some guys that
Are just really good.
are reliable, and we're a reliable car. When it comes to this division, we're reliable. We're a top 5 car every week, and honestly, this car is one of the faster cars out there right now. So we're top 2 or 3
just
car.
because of all your adjustments and your.
Plus, we've had this car for about 3 years, and when you have a car for that long, you learn little things about the car, and you also play with. Like I said, my dad's a
all this
tinkerer.
stuff. Yeah.
5 years ago, I came home and told my wife I was going to buy a race car. She said no, and I bought the race car anyways. As Jared said, I can't believe you're still married to her, but she stuck with me through a lot of worse things than racing, and I think deep down she actually knew that it would be a good thing for me to get into.
When I think of racing, I think of changing a tire as fast as you can.
Okay.
And so I thought it would be fun to challenge you in a tire changing race.
You sure about this?
No.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, it would. Are you going to do one and I'll do the other, and we'll see who does it faster?
I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I gave you the good gun.
Okay.
I'm going to explain it to you now.
I'm taking my phone out.
Okay, so this?
I'm taking my keys. This is real.
This is going to be fun.
Okay.
That's for loosen, right?
Right.
So that's going to turn it. Then all you got to do is flip that,
Right.
and you're back to front.
Just like a screw.
Okay.
Yes.
The only other thing I ask is, I don't have guys that can restud all of these when we strip
So you don't want
them.
me to strip it?
I don't. So I just want you to start them by hand, and then you can buzz it on.
Okay. Gotcha.
I'm going to grab 2 tires. I'm going to put one here. I'm going to put one there.
Let me do it
Go
once
ahead, dude.
with you.
I'm going to grab 2 tires.
Because,
and,
okay, I'm just going to pull one off.
okay.
And then I'm going to put the same one back on.
Okay.
Because.
It's that easy.
And then
You always got to make sure
that part is
that
in.
part goes in.
Okay.
Start it like that.
That's how
You're
far
good to
on
go.
do you have to be?
If
So
you
you
give
just
it a
kind of
couple
go
turns,
like that.
there you go.
You're good. How do you know when to stop?
How do you make what stop?
No, how do you know when to stop?
Oh, it'll let you know as soon as it goes.
You know it's done.
Yeah.
So it's pretty quick.
Here, let me see that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna help you out so that your bit doesn't fall off.
there you
Because
go.
I don't want you to complain that I cheated.
Yeah.
'Kay.
Well, apparently that's if you're not cheating, you're not winning.
Well,
or something like that.
That's racing. Yes.
It all
Actually,
go-
you're
Hey,
right. I should have left your socket alone and just let
It
you.
all goes together.
Yeah. Okay, that's your tire.
Oh, this is mine. I was gonna roll it on.
You take that one.
I was gonna roll it on for you,
No,
but
that's all right,
it's cool.
man. All right.
I mean,
let
I
me-
get that yours is a little lighter, but I understand.
You want to check them?
Just-
I guarantee they're exactly the same. So here's the problem.
Okay.
I showed you my gun
Yeah.
doesn't work so good in
Yeah.
reverse.
Okay. Quick question. To
What's
make
up?
sure, do I have to put it on like you would a normal tire, like star the things, or does it matter?
I don't care.
Like the bolts.
Nope.
Do you have to go in a star formation?
All I want you to no.
Okay.
You can go around it. You can do it however you want.
Okay.
Okay.
And the other question
Yep.
is, now I'm all nervous. The other question is, so when you're pulling them off,
Yep.
are you just catching them in the bolts in your hand? Or
You gotta
nuts?
figure
or-
out your own style on that.
All right.
So I'll give you. This is what I usually do. Ready?
Okay. So you do catch them in your hand. In NASCAR, do they have one guy doing all of them like that?
So in NASCAR, they have a guy on that tire and they have a guy on that tire, right?
Uh-huh.
But they also take.
Do they have guys on all 4 tires?
No. So the guy
they
that
do
changes
2 at a
the
time.
right front goes around and does the left front.
Okay.
But they also take their lug nuts on their new tires
Yeah.
and they glue them on there on a little
What?
spring. So
Interesting.
that all they have to do, the tire is sitting there.
Yeah.
It's got the lugs attached.
So you put
All
it
they
on and
do,
just.
a guy throws it on there for you. All you do is go around and buzz it on.
Gotcha.
I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't have the money that Rick Hendrick has. To.
Yeah. And you got to self-start.
Amen. So,
I know the rules.
all right, hold on. Let me put my lugs back on. I don't want
Okay.
any cheating.
Okay.
I don't want you
How
calling.
come this tire doesn't have a cap on it?
I want you. Which one?
This one right here. You're missing a cap.
Where? Oh, the. Yeah, we don't run those.
You don't run cap because
Nope.
Because it adds weight?
No, it just makes it easier for you to check the air pressure.
Oh, okay.
You would be surprised how many times air pressures get checked. And that's another thing. You can play with like air pressure.
In your tire? And how much you want?
There's a rule. There's something called Stagger in a race car.
So many rules.
There are.
Where I
It's
come
not
from,
actually
we
a
don't have
rule.
no rules. We just race.
So there's something called Stagger.
Yeah.
You're trying to get 2 3/4 stagger, which would be the difference from your right side tire to your left side tire.
Okay.
Which also helps with turning
Turns.
and cornering and stuff
Okay.
like that.
So what do you typically run?
About 2 3/4.
What pressure is that?
So you're running about 25 pounds on this side and about 14 pounds on the left side.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's pretty low.
And it builds up. As you run laps, your air pressure builds up. You
okay.
just simply hope that they both build up the same
Ah.
so that your stagger stays the same.
What's the science behind that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's for geniuses that
It just-
figured that out.
you just know that it
40
happens?
years ago. Yeah, I
Yeah.
just know that's how it works, man.
Oh man. You ready?
Are you ready?
I think so.
Okay,
Okay.
go.
Oh no, I lost it already.
Oh no!
I lost one over there. Hey, it's not as heavy as I thought it was gonna be.
No, they're not. They're not that bad. Oh, go in, go in. Yes. I dropped a lug. Good, good, good. Oh, come on.
I spun it on my finger.
Good.
Uh-oh.
Done.
Done. That was close.
No matter what, you always pray that everybody gets to go home. That's the biggest thing. You want everybody to be able to show up the next week. You don't want anybody to go home in a stretcher or in an ambulance or even hurt. I've seen a guy break his leg. My brother-in-law broke his foot probably a month and a half ago in a race car. You know, injuries happen. It's a dangerous thing. But you always pray that, and it's not just drivers, you pray that drivers, crew members, fans, officials at the track, you pray that everybody at the track will go home and be safe.
So we were at Sam's garage and we had plans to come over to the track and we were going to let me get in the race car and drive. And so we were on our way to the track and actually it started raining. And because there was rain on the track, they wouldn't let me drive on the track, which I think makes sense because they probably shouldn't have let me on the track in the first place. But it was raining. And so we had to postpone. And then that Saturday, we were joking in the garage for me not to wreck Sam's car, but Sam actually got in an accident and wrecked his car on that Saturday. And so we're here at the track today. Unfortunately, Sam's car is wrecked, and so I'm not able to actually get in and drive, but we're still here. We're gonna meet up with Sam. We're gonna get to see more of kind of what goes on here at the racetrack and hear his side of the story. So let's go find Sam and see if he can show us around a little bit.
So tell me it's all in my head.
What happened? Walk me through it.
So I'm racing for third,
Okay.
coming out of turn 4 over here.
Okay, so that's one.
Nope,
No, one's over
One's
there.
over there.
1, 2, 3,
3,
4.
4. So coming out of 4,
Yep.
right about where that white line is right there,
Okay.
I get spun sideways.
Does he okay, here's the cars.
So they're under me,
Okay.
and I get nudged like this, which
Okay.
just brings my car around.
Okay.
At which point I'm facing the grandstands and there are 20 cars coming this way at me. I look and there's a car.
Smacked you.
Yeah.
In the nose.
His nose into my passenger door, yeah.
Even though I was unable to drive in a car, I was bound and determined to race Messerli on the track.
You ready? Set, go.
My life wouldn't be the same if I hadn't found Christ. There were a lot of days where, even in temptation, you can, well, there's a scripture. I'm not sure which one it is because I'm not good with stuff like that, but I know there's a scripture verse that says, no matter what temptation is put in front of you, if you turn towards God, He will get you a way through it. I lived my life by that scripture. If I get tempted, I stop and pray. And I guarantee you, God will get you through and around that temptation. I've seen it. I've seen it where I have had that temptation. You simply take 5 minutes, say a prayer, pray for God to get through you or get you through it. Pray for God to give you a way around it. It happens. God is always there. If you turn towards Him, He will be that rock.
Cut him off! Cut him off! No! Ah!
Seriously?
I'm on fire!
Oh,
That sucks.
how hot is that?
I feel like that would be better in a car.
Way better. 4 tires and a motor makes that way easier.
Holy sweat brains.
Yeah.